Hallelujah, 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 for all that is. There will never ever be another day just like this day, so let's give praise now. Hallelujah, 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 for all that is. Welcome, everyone. It is Monday afternoon. Does it feel like it's Friday already? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Rebecca's laughing. I love it. Yes. Here we are, community. How wonderful that we can even share each other's names and call out different things that people are doing in their Zoom boxes and know that many of us have been on a very long journey together. And some of us are joining for maybe even the very first or second time, meeting this community on this afternoon soul spa. My name's Naomi Les, and I'm one of the founding ritual leaders here at Lab Shul. And I'm inviting you into this little timeout tap-in. Tapping's going to be an important word we're going to use in a little bit. But to refuel. Maybe the events of the weekend, maybe what's happening in the world, maybe the hard work of leaning into helping this be a more equitable and just world. We started this a long time ago. We're going to talk about that in a second. But this is actually a soul, we call this a soul fuel station. Fueling ourselves so that we can go back into the world and do the work that needs to be done, that we want to do. We have a special guest today. We've actually two special guests. The first one I'll mention is my friend Natalie Goldfein, who's joined us once before, who will be bringing in some different kind of meditative practices for us today on this special day. And my friend and my colleague and my boss, Sarah Sokolic, our executive director, is going to invite us in to this very particularly special day.
Thank you, Naomi. It really is an honor to be here today. And truth be told, if Rabbi Amichai were here, probably he'd be kind of holding this spot with Naomi on today. Today we are marking 2 years since the shutdown of the world, or at least our world, when the pandemic started. And I was looking back on the calendar, noticing that Purim was Monday, March 9th in 2020. That was our last public event. Some of us gathered the next day, Tuesday on the 10th. And then I'm at that gathering, I said to some of our staff that were there, this is it. There's going to be, we're going to be shutting down after today. And some folks, including Amichai, were like, what? What do you mean? And it just took a lot to like figure out what was happening. But here we are. We're 2 years later. I thought it'd be interesting to go back, Lab Shul. You may not know what goes on behind the scenes to create what we do. I'm sure you imagine that it does take some work, but there's a lot of organization behind the scenes. And I was introduced to our Daily SoulSpa behind the scenes archive. And we have 88 pages of a document of every single soul spa that Lab Shul has done since, I believe our first one was March 16th. So everyone shut down on the 14th. And 2 days later, on Rabbi Amichai's prompting to show up for rapid response, for soul fuel, we started the Daily SoulSpa. I think we did 450 consecutive days is the count that I believe we're using. Now we're weekly, but I don't think any of us have forgotten what those days were like. And I'm looking around the screen, and some of you, this is how I met, right, Lisa? Rebecca, this is how we met and fell in love kind of in boxes. Daniel, you know, and I needed those soul spas just as much as any of you. And I was really privileged to be a part of it. So I thought I would look back into one of those set lists, one of those archives, and share something that Rabbi Amichai had pulled to share. So I'm going to just share with you a poem that he shared on, it was actually on the 18th, so 2 days later, but I felt that this was a really appropriate kind of share for today as we start to, I don't know, there were so many times over the past 2 years where it's like, okay, now we're getting back to normal and things are opening up. And there were so many false starts and times where we're like, okay, then the relief comes, and then Delta, and then Omicron, and then we don't know. And now the masks mandates are coming off, and kids in schools have more freedom, and things feel like they may be coming back to normal in some ways. And I know that some of you are even checking in from your regular work days, and some of you are back in your regular offices. So I thought as we start to feel that relief, and at the same time, we might start feeling the pressure too of like, what does normal mean? So I'm just going to pull up this poem, and I'm hoping I can drop it in the chat. Sometimes I'm successful and sometimes I'm not. And I did not send this ahead. Let me see if I can drop this in. Doesn't look like it's going to let me. So I'm going to read this to you. This is a poem by Emma Zeck that Rabbi Amichai shared on March 18th, 2020. And so I hope that I'm sure it was resonant then. And I hope that for those of us who are starting to feel whatever is coming up for you in these days of opening, that this will be helpful for you as it is for me. With this open time, you do not have to write the next best-selling novel. You do not have to get in the best shape of your life. You do not have to start that podcast. What you can do instead is observe this pause as an opportunity. The same systems we see crumbling in society are being called to crumble in each of us individually. The systems that taught us we are machines that live to produce, and we are disposable if we are not doing so. The systems that taught us monetary gain takes priority over humanity. The systems that create our insecurities, then capitalize off of them. What if we became curious with this free time and had no agenda other than to experience being? What if you created art for the sake of creating? What if you allowed yourself to rest and cry and laugh and play and get curious about whatever arises in you? What if our true purpose is in this space? As if Mother Earth is saying, we can no longer carry on this way. The time is now. I am reminding you who you are. Will you remember? So with that, right. With that, I'll hand it back to Naomi, and thank you for offering this space for me to share and be in community with all of you.
Sarah, it's just such an incredible sharing, both for this moment and reflecting back to where we were then, and also in this moment of the week of the Torah portion, Parshat Tzav, which we'll talk more about on Friday night, but that there in Parshat Tzav, there's this ever-present, the altar has to keep, the fire on the altar has to keep burning. We have to keep that fire cannot go out when the priests are, this is sort of the dedication of the priests that we're in this period of time in the Torah portion. And I had a visceral reaction to like, just keep stoking that fire. And it's like, can it be embers for a little bit? Can we just be on embers? Can we keep like the pilot light on, but not have to like stoke up that fire. I see Lewis is nodding. Yes. So thank you for bringing all of that to us and for bringing memory, a true reflection. I'm wondering as we bring ourselves into presence, I have my talit with me. And I'm going to invite anyone who has anything you want to wrap around you. I see Roxanne's got her little jacket on her already. You're already wrapped. But I'm going to invite us to bring those memories into presence. Take your time to wrap yourself, either using your arms, using your heart, using a shawl, using a talit. The words we have, Shiviti Havaya, Linegdi Tamid, that I'm bringing presence. I'm bringing presence over and over in front of me. Does that need to be a violent action, or can that be a gentle invitation to bring yourself back to presence and to present? So before Natalie takes us into this beautiful offering, I'll invite us to just sit for a moment, musing on what we want to bring to our present moment right now, how we want to lead gently into this moment. Is Havaya, which really is another word for presence. It's another metaphor that we have for divine. And the fun part about it is it's so close to the word Ahava, Havaya and Ahava, love and presence. So we'll just chant these words to bring ourselves to this sacred pause. Forget to breathe. Havaya, 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 Ahava, 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 Havaya, Havaya, Havaya. So Natalie, I'll invite you to unmute. Such a joy to have you back with us.
Thank you, Naomi. It is lovely to be here with this fabulous community, and I'm so touched by the words that have already been spoken. And Sarah, that poem just struck me in such a deep and profound way. I had not heard that before. It is very hard to believe that it's been 2 years since the start of what we thought was kind of going to be the end. Like, we didn't know. It was so scary. It was so abrupt and shocking. And yet here we are. We're here. We're connected. We're connected through the good. We've been through a lot of good, and we've been through a lot of guck. That's my new word for bad. I like the way it works together. Good and the guck. So in my time with you today, I want us to take a few moments to be here and to be able to both remember and to be able to be present in this moment and to be able to kind of energize ourselves for going forward. So I'm going to lead you through a few little breath and movement and tapping, as Naomi mentioned. And I'm going to invite you, if you'd like to stand, you are welcome to. I'm going to stand to lead this. If you want to sit, you can absolutely do this sitting. So, but I'm going to stand. So I am going to invite you to begin with aligning. So even if you're sitting, just make sure your feet are on the ground, connected to the ground, and just follow along with me. Notice your feet. Notice them on the ground. Notice how it feels to be supported by the earth. And now bring your attention up the body, up to the top of your head, and notice the very top point on your head, and imagine how that connects up to the heavens. Feeling the sense of possibility that exists out in the universe, while also being grounded to the earth and safe. And next, we're going to bring our focus down to our belly and to our breath. So if you'd like to put your hands on your belly, you're welcome to. Taking a breath into your belly, breathing in, letting the belly expand. And exhaling when you're ready. And we'll take 2 more breaths like this, breathing in deeply to the belly and up through the rest of the torso. And exhaling. And once more, let's breathe in. And exhale. And now bringing your concentration, your focus to being here, to doing this right now. Our body supported us through these last couple of years, and now we're going to do a little bit to let our body know how appreciative we are and also how much energy there is inside of us. So I'm going to invite you to do a little tapping on the body. And how we'll do that is we're just going to kind of do a whole body tap. So I'm going to invite you to put one arm out in front. And again, you can do all of this sitting as well. With your other hand, make a fist, or you can use an open hand. And very lovingly, but with a little bit of oomph, we're going to do a little tapping down the inside of the arm. just slowly and lovingly. And when you get down to the hand, turn it over and come up the backside and start to feel the aliveness in your arm. When you get to the top of the arm, tap across your chest. Nice. And extend that arm out. Make a fist with the other one. Start up at the shoulder. Come on down. You get to the bottom, turn the arm over and come up the backside. And now we're going to come and we're going to do a little tapping just slowly on your chest. And as you tap, notice the sounds your chest makes. Feel what it's like to breathe into that. And come right to the center here, right by the thymus, and just do a little slow tapping, calming, relaxing. Beautiful. And now let's keep tapping down the torso. And now let's make some circles around our belly in gratitude for all the systems working in the body. If you're standing, you can bend your knees a little bit. And now we're going to tap down the side of the legs, our strength. And when you get down to the ankles, come on up the inside of your legs, slowly noticing what it's like to connect to your body. And when you get up to the top, come around and tap on your backside. And I'll let your arms come down to the side. Take a moment and realign, feeling your feet on the ground, grounded, supported. Feel your head reaching up, connected to the possibilities. Notice your breath. And notice your body. All what it holds, all what it allows. So I'm now going to invite you. We've been through a lot, but there's a lot we want to gather what was good. We want to gather what mattered, and we want to get rid of what didn't, what wasn't, what we want to shed. So again, you can do this sitting, but if you're standing, your arms are going to go out to the side, kind of like this. And we're going to just bend down a little bit and imagine that you're gathering up energy from the earth and bringing it in to your heart. And then we're going to let the arms fall and come up the sides and overhead. And as you bring the hands down, you're bringing the goodness through and pushing out anything that needs to be recycled. So again, gathering from below, bringing in recycled, healthy energy, dropping the arms and coming up and over and bringing down energy from above, pushing out anything that's not serving you anymore. And again, and breathing, pulling down and pushing through. And once more. One more time. Letting everything that no longer serves leave through the feet. And returning back and aligning, realigning, breathing and connecting. And noticing the body, noticing what it's holding, noticing what it's letting go of. And now I invite you to bring your arms in front and bring your hands just below the belly button. This is our lower dantian, our lower power source. And as you have your hands there, breathe in, pulling up energy from the earth through your feet. And thinking about what centered you during this time that we've had these last few years. Holding on to that powerful experience of being centered and supported. Now drop your hands, bring them up around, and place them on your forehead. This is our upper energy resource. And as you breathe in here, think about what inspired you over these last many, many months. Many things that brought us joy, even through the pain and the discomfort. And now bring your hands down to your heart. Close your eyes for a moment. And breathe in these two sets of energy from lower and upper. And let them inspire you. Let them strengthen you. And let them help you go out and continue to be a force for good in the world. And then I invite you now, whether standing or sitting, and if you're standing and you'd like to sit, welcome. We're just going to take about 30 seconds of just quiet.
Natalie, thank you. Thank you so much. As we had mentioned, today's was going to go a little bit longer in honor of the special day that we're commemorating. And I know some people have to bump off real quick, but the spaciousness, permission you gave us is just breathtaking and breath giving all at the same time. Thank you so much, Natalie. So I'm just moved by the energy above and below, and what a perfect way to bring ourselves into honoring those who have left us, that we are both below and above, and lifting their names and their elevating their spirits for those of us left below here on earth, to honor their memories. So I know Brenna and Lisa and several of you bringing the names of your loved ones into the circle, on virtual Kaddish. I just invite everybody to who wants to share a name into the chat, please do so. Before we say Kaddish together, we'll invite everybody in the community to unmute, as is our custom, and say it together if you feel so comfortable, while Ari shares the slides. Are we doing slides, or yes, we're doing slides today. Thank you. I'm just reminding people to keep that breath above, below, all of it flowing as we say these ancient words together, honoring the lives lived, the lessons taught, and the memories that we remember. Yitkadal, Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma Divrach Yute, B'chmachute, B'chayechon V'yomechon, U'v'chaye D'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala V'zman Kariv V'imru. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mivarach Le'olam Amen. Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitarmam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yithalal Shmei D'Kudsha Richu Le'ela Mikol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechamata Ta'amiran Be'alma V'imru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Mim Shemaya L'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel V'imru. Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mramav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel V'imru. Amen. We're going to end our time. Ari, I wonder if you would, in a little audible here, if you will put the slides back up to the last Kaddish slide for Oseh Shalom. We're going to end today with both a blessing of healing, but really a prayer for peace. Embedded in this is the fact that there is not peace right now, that there are a lot of people in this world that are hurting. And our prayers go to our siblings in many, many war-torn countries, and especially right now to our siblings in Ukraine, and to all those who have fled Ukraine, who are now refugees, who are now without their homes, without their families. And the plight of refugees is just, it's unknowable how far and vast it is. I just read in the New York Times today about a family traveling from India who was frozen to death. Yep, coming down from Canada. 2 children and 2 young, older 30s parents trying to get to America. And so it is with this blessing, both of healing, that we want to send out, and this plea and demand for peace, that we'll end our time together today. I invite you to sing with me. Oseh Shalom B'mramav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Ve'imru Amen. May the source of peace inspire us to make peace, to never give up on peace, to keep it at the forefront of our minds and our hearts and our hands, for ourselves, for community, for all people on earth. Thank you to our peacemakers and sacred Levites, Sarah Sakalik Ari Muntz, who's behind the scenes today, and to Natalie for helping us to tap in quite literally to breath. I hope to see some of you, if not all of you, Friday night for Sabbath Queen, either online or in person at Manny Cantor Center. And also, just 2 nights, we have Purim, the most sacred story of upside down and oppression and finding our voices and letting be known what is hidden and what is secret, being our full selves. So we'll sing this one more time with all those, you can find everything from those events on the chat and also on our website. Thanks to Ari for putting together a fabulous Purim portal for us on the website. Looks fantastic. Let's sing this once together. Oh, say shalom bimroma. Oh, say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ve'imru. יושבי תבל ואמרו ואמרו אמן ואמרו ואמרו Thank you to this beloved community for supporting so many, including every single soul on this Zoom screen and many who have stepped in. We honor you. We thank you for being present to community.